Okay, we are going to do long division today. Let's get started. The first step you're going to do is divide. So we're going to take a look at the tens place. Look at the 6 right here. We're going to try to figure out how many times the 4 can fit into a 6. Okay, it can only fit in there one time. The next step we're going to do is take 4 times 1. Okay, multiplication is step 2. So what is 4 times 1? That is 4, so you write the 4 right under the 6. Okay, step 3 is subtraction. Okay, so we're going to take this 6 in the tens place and subtract 4 tenths. 6 minus 4 is 2. Okay, one last step in long division. Now we need to bring down. So we're going to take this 8, we're going to draw a little arrow to bring it down right next to the 2 so it's not lonely. Now we have 28 instead of 68 to work with. We need to figure out how many times 4 can go into 28. And I already have that underlined for you in red. We know that 4 times 7 is 28. So I'm going to put the 7 up above the 8 right here. Okay, remember that up top is where the answer will be in the end. If you remember from the last step, our next step will be to multiply. We need to multiply our 4 and 7. What is 4 times 7? 28. Write it right underneath. And our third step is to subtract. So we're going to take 28 minus 28. 8 minus 8 is 0. 2 minus 2 is 0. If you end with 0 all the way across, no other answer, no exceptions, if you end with 0, you are good to go. You can make a little check mark. We did it. If I scroll back up, we know that our answer is 17. So 68 divided by 4 is 17. Now let's take a look at an easier trick. If you can remember DMSB, it will help you a ton with long division. DMSB stands for divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. And I have 2 easy ways to remember this. You can remember DMSB by saying dad, mom, sister, and brother, or by remembering during math, someone burped. Okay? So DMSB, that is the key to remembering the steps to long division. Let's try it out and see if it helps us. We are going to take 72 divided by 3. I'm going to write DMSB over here to remind me the steps. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. Okay? So the first step is divide. I need to figure out how many times 3 can fit into 7. 3 can fit into 7 2 times. The next step is multiply. I need to multiply 3 and 2. 3 times 2 is 6. Next step, DMS. We need to subtract. 7 minus 6 is 1. Now, head on over to DMS. B is our next step. Bring down. We need to bring down our 2. Rewrite it right next to the 1. Now we need to figure out how many times 3 can fit into 12. Well, we know 3 times 4 is 12. So 12 divided by 3 must be 4. Our next step is to multiply. Okay, we need to multiply this 3 and the 4. 3 times 4 is 12. After multiply, our next step is to subtract. If we subtract 12 minus 12, we will get 0. Remember, if we end with a 0, that means we are done. Give it a check. So 72 divided by 3 is 24. Way to go. How can I check if my answer is right? We know that long division is new to us, so we might not get it right on our first couple tries. So since division is the opposite of multiplication, remember, we can multiply to figure out if we divided right. So let's take 24 and multiply it by 3. Let's see if we get 72. What's 4 times 3? 12. 3 times 2 is 6. Plus 1 is 7. It worked. We divided correctly. Let's do another one. Let's take 57 and divide it by 3. I'm going to write DMSB over on the side to help me remember my steps. First step is to divide. We need to figure out how many times 3 can fit into 5. Can fit in there once. Remember, the next step is to multiply. 3 times 1 is 3. Next step is to subtract. 5 minus 3 is 2. Okay, next step is bring down. Okay, back to the beginning. How many times can 3 go into 27? 27 divided by 3 is 9. Next step is to multiply. What is 9 times 3? 27. After multiply, we subtract. 27 minus 27 is 0. If we end with 0, we're good. We are done. So 57 divided by 3 is 19. Let's double check. We're going to take 19 and we're going to multiply it by 3. 9 times 3 is 27. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5. It matches. We are good to go. One more here. Let's take 84 and divide it by 2. Remember, we have DMSB. Okay, divide. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Remember, 2 can fit into 4, or excuse me, 2 can fit into 8 4 times. Next step is multiply. 4 times 2 is 8. Next step is to subtract. 8 minus 8 is 0. Okay, the next step is to bring down. We have a 4. Back to the beginning, we need to divide. How many times can 2 fit into 4? 2 times. Let's multiply. 2 times 2? 4. The next step is to subtract. 4 minus 4 is 0. We don't need to bring anything else down. We are done. We got 0. Let's double check that 84 divided by 2 is 42 by multiplying. 42 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. 84. It worked. All right, I'd like you to try one on your own. Let's do 78 divided by 2. Remember, D, M, S, B. Divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. Let's hit pause right now and hit play when you're done. You should have got 39 as your answer. If you did not get 39, let's go over it right now. Remember, let's divide 7 divided by 2. We need to figure out how many times 2 can fit into 7. 2 can fit into 7 3 times. Our next step is to multiply. 3 and 2. 3 times 2 is 6. Our next step is to subtract. 7 minus 6 is 1. Next step is bring down the 8. Now we have 18. Let's go back to the beginning and divide. Let's take 18 divided by 2. That will get you 9. Next step is to multiply. 9 times 2. 9 times 2 is 18. Next step is to subtract. 18 minus 18 will get you 0. If we end with 0, we are done. Our answer is 39. We can double check our answer by multiplying 39 times 2. 9 times 2 is 18. Carry the 1. 2 times 3 is 6. Plus 1 is 7. 78 matches what we started with. Hopefully that helped you a little bit with long division. If you need a recap of long division, just rewind and rewatch. Let's go over DMSB once more. DMSB stands for divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. An easy way to remember that is to remember dad, mom, sister, brother, or during math, someone burped.